Good morning. You already know who it is. Targeted individual, CJBK. Y'all see him working. Gotta keep working, gotta keep moving. The more you sit still, the more you're basically an easier target for them to hit. You know, when you're not using the energy that they're focusing on you, it basically just builds up in the body. So always remember, the more you move, the less you'll feel. So anyway, today, you know what, between today, last night, last couple of days, I don't even remember the last times I post videos anymore. My memory is so messed up now, but it's not like it's anything that I do that's messing up my memory. We all know that. We all know by now, photobiomodulation is a two-sided coin. You can either heal people's memory or you can destroy a person's memory, especially when you can do it remotely, either from a satellite, a drone, or it could be, from digital cell towers that are connected to, our body area networks, which were created by the nanotech that's basically attached to our central nervous system, a number of different things. But either way, there are frequencies connected to different parts of our body that we never asked to be put there, and, the government knows because, well, they fund the project. The streets know because they benefit from the project. The pedophiles, the serial killers, the murderers, the thefts, the intellectual thieves, they all know because they all profit from it. But at the end, it's all about the New World Order agenda of complete control of everything. You will own nothing and be happy. That is the words that came from a top CEO. I can't remember her name right now, but you can look it up. Just go to the World Economic Forum. Go to the World Economic Forum, or just search, "You will be happy, you will own nothing and be happy." I kid you not. Now, like I told you, recently I've been, over the last, she reminded me, it's been 2 months now. I've been allowing myself to feel love and intimacy and things of that sort. So it's kind of like, I always wondered, the strangest thing is, I always wondered to myself, dang, I don't think I'll ever be able to date anybody who's not a TI in some way, shape, or form. Because, you don't necessarily want to deal with having to explain to someone who doesn't know about this technology what is happening to you on a regular basis, 24 hours, 7 days a week. You don't want to have to explain that to somebody and then they don't get it. And then after a while, your moments when you're trying to either alleviate pain or try to get rid of whatever, subliminal, or because if you get the V2K makes it worse. Because now you'll have a tendency, if you're not actively and consciously choosing to just only respond back to them, telepathically. Basically, that's what it is. It's synthetic telepathy. It's synthetic telepathy. It's not like actual real telepathy. They're just basically, they have your body's natural resonant frequency, and then they're basically transmitting audio sounds through. They're taking the frequency of their voice recordings or their voice transmissions and they're sending it through this like the same carrier wave of your body's frequency, you know. But it goes to NYPD. They wanted me to join you too, but I told them I don't believe in endangering the lives of cops, whether or not I realize they're good or bad. I'm not joining the NYPD because someone told me to do so, someone threatened me to do so, someone told me it's a secret society, you can't do anything unless we tell you to do it. Yeah, now I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, 1989, grew up in Bed-Stuy. Until about 2003, I moved to Canarsie. Lived in about 2 years in Queens, Jamaica. So I'm like, I grew up around some energy that I'm like, nah, ain't nobody ditching me. I couldn't even pedal to them. My cart's so heavy. You wanna see my cart? Yeah, so I'm like, I haven't been bullied since I was like in high school, like freshman year, and then towards like the middle, like the end of my sophomore year, because that's when I joined the football team. And when I joined the football team, things just kind of just went better. You know, but anyway. But yeah, like, I've been seeing someone for like well, she's actually like a ex-girlfriend, really, but we've been like reconnecting, and damn, I think I missed my turn, but it's all right. I was about to say, you see him, see me, we both see each other, but I'm like, okay, is he gonna let me go first? Anyway, oh, actually, no, this works out, because the block I got to go on, I just passed, and it was going the other direction. Anyway, yeah, and, you know, over time, you know, while I was being targeted, and I kind of was, like, low-key telling her about my targeting and stuff like that, and, you know, as time passed, she started to notice certain things about her own body that she never really put two and two together. So now she's at the point where she fully feels like they probably amped up her frequencies now that she's aware of what's happening. You know, now she's actually to the point where she's learned about her own electromagnetic energy and her ability to use her hands. The hands are literally like the first, you know, like first tools that we have to help heal our bodies. You know, let me see. I'm looking for. Is this it? Let me see. But yeah, her she's been, you know, learning how to pull the frequencies and learn how to basically pinch them and manipulate them in a sense. You know, she's been learning how to, let me set this down real quick while I lock up. And you know, she's been learning how to actually, you know, manipulate her frequencies, but you know, she's still very, very infantry into it all. So right now she's in like a very, very heavy, you know, inquisitive phase. You know, she's happy that now she is aware that such things are going on, and she's like kind of even going back and thinking about her past, you know, like every guy that she's ever been with, or every, you know, every weird thing she felt with her body, every weird dream she's had. Now she's like fully aware. And then the more interesting thing, because they're actually proving my point even more, the more she realizes the things that were weirdly happening in her life, that's when her, you know, her attacks kind of pick up even more. So that's already a confirmation. The more you figure out and you realize, the more they attack you. So it's like, okay, that's confirmation. Because the more you get closer to something that people don't want you to know, the more they actually attack you. 32. Damn, it's all the way up there, but that's all right, though. Let me see. Oh, okay, it's only 3 bags anyway. Hold on. Yeah. So she's learning how to, understand what's happening to her, even on a technological aspect. Can't really well, I'm not gonna get into not the religion, but the spiritual aspect of it all. So, because she's gonna focus more on the, I guess you could call it the tangible, the thing that you can actually explain scientifically. I would say she's been misled and misused by other people who, claim to be Christian. So it's kind of like one of those things that she's just like, yeah, I'd rather focus on something else. But yeah, man. She's been all right though. She's been all right. The only problem is, I think she's slowly starting to realize just how much, or how. Oh, I thought they rang the bell. How invasive this stuff really is, and when I tell her like they see everything through, our Amazon Fresh. So she's noticing a lot of things, and I'm glad that she's noticing these things, because a lot of people don't know. They'll go years and years without ever figuring out what is happening to me. Wait, it's a 2E. Oh man, it's one of those buildings where it's like the alphabet is the floor, so B was just the second floor. So I'm like, damn it. Okay. See. I'm telling you, man, I use the energy that they give me. I use it to my full advantage. Plus, I also get myself stronger in a sense. Okay. Alright, here we go. Hold on. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I really do at my job. I just deliver, scan, deliver, and boom, I'm done. Yep. Hey, that's that some of those jobs that you get when you work when you live in a metropolitan area like New York. I feel for the TIs that live in country, like very, rural areas and stuff like that, where they don't necessarily have, access to a lot of jobs and things of that sort. And I tell myself, man, at some point that might be me, because I know one thing. I'm gonna say this: I don't necessarily want to leave New York because of getting stuck. If I leave New York, it's because I'm trying to get away from the enormous expense that it is to live in New York. I'd like to go somewhere south or out the country entirely, truly. Yeah, so I basically, let me see, that's 3rd Avenue, I gotta go back that way. So, I basically, I've been teaching, you know, my lady as much as she can take. I'm trying not to overwhelm her too much. Trying not to, like, I don't want her to become paranoid, right? I don't want her to start thinking that everybody is in on it. I don't want her to start thinking that, everybody can possibly, be a part of the gang stalking, because not every person that's in the gang stalking is actually truly a gang stalker. Some people are just there to just collect intel. And then there's some who are actually there to actually do the damage. Like there are some people who are there to actually sabotage your life. And then there are some people who are just there to just collect information, or they're there to basically just create some type of stimulant response from your brain. Wow, look at that. Wow. Anyway, but yeah, some people are just there to basically interact with you, break your concentration from whatever you're doing, and just to spark a specific type of it's always the taxi drivers that honk, right? They honk, and you're like nowhere near where they are. They just honk in general. But you know what? I try not to take any real offense to it, because they be moving. Taxi drivers drive really fast, and I don't think nobody hits people more than taxi drivers. Nobody hits bikes more than taxi drivers. But anyway, I don't know how true that is, but it sure feel like it's true. But anyway, so yeah, well, I've been spending more time around like her family and everything. I'm seeing everything and everybody through a whole new lens. Because when you at least learn as much as you can about the technological and psychological aspects behind secret society targeting and stuff like that, start to watch people in very, very different ways now. Like, I stopped paying so much attention or relying so heavily on what a person says anymore. Now, I pay so much more attention to their body language. Like, I used to I knew how to read people's body language a long time ago, including their their aura, their energy, whether they were a decent person or not. I used to already do that. But now with the targeting, it literally taught me to actually use more of my other, senses, and you know what? A lot of this stuff, it's not entirely undetectable. It's not entirely undefeatable. All it really takes is a bit of studying, possibly some ingenuity, and some clever mind, what's the words I'm looking for? I don't know. Like, you need a very, very clever mind to, I guess, outthink or underthink your handlers. So, I wasn't sure what he was about to do. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't in his area when he started to make a fast move or something. Anyway, yeah. And she told me that okay, so my lady, she has a son who just turned 6, and She said that one day, like, he was like kicking and moving around, but he was asleep. And then, when I told her about how we're all connected by our pineal gland to this online cloud server, wherever the hell this shit is at. I know it's a cloud server somewhere online, and we're all connected, right? She said that her son looked like he was having a nightmare or some type of dream or whatever. So what she did was she took her fingers, right, and held them just about, what did I say, about like 6 inches or maybe a little more above his head, right above where the pineal gland would be, like, just right above the crown, right? And she took her fingers, her index finger and her thumb, and she pinched right up there, and she felt the frequency vibrating in between her fingers. And then what did she do after that? She started to try to pull upwards, right? But here's the thing. She wasn't touching it. When she started to pull upwards on the frequency, he woke up almost as if like he was touched. So it's like, and then when you think about it, it's like they are doing this to children. They're doing this to mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers, aunties, uncles, cousins, daughters, sons. They're doing this to everybody. And then the worst part is they have people, just because someone went to school and got a degree in something doesn't mean that they're a good person at all. There are a lot of sick people out here with degrees, and all these people think about is how much they can gain off of someone without them ever realizing that they're actually being, trafficked in a way. It's all human trafficking at the end of the day. It's electronic human trafficking. Think about it like this. You basically had a very, very decent, happy-go-lucky life. The next thing you know, weird stuff starts happening in your life that almost seems oddly inexplainable. Things stop working right at your job. Now your boss is getting mad at you. And it's like, you did what you did. You submitted the form. You did this. You did that. But for whatever reason, he's claiming, the boss or the manager is like, no, I never got it, da-da-da. You made us miss the deadline. Now all of a sudden they're threatening your job. I'm right here. So yeah, let me go outside. But and it's sad because it's like this is happening to a lot of people. Now that's just the employment part. The really scary part is people who don't realize that the thoughts that they believe are their thoughts actually aren't their thoughts. Like imagine realizing, you think that you're a violent person, or you think that you're a sexual person, or whatever the case may be. But come to find out, no, you're actually not. Someone is planting, or for better words, they're coding up these thoughts for you to have, and then they're sending or transmitting it to your brain, and your brain does not have a firewall. Timothy Thomas wrote an article in 1998 called "The Mind Does Not Have a Firewall," and he talks about how he was in the military, I believe in the Army. I think maybe the Department of Psychological Warfare. And he talks about in his article, this journal, that the brain does not have a firewall, even though it works just like a computer. The brain works just like a computer. And when you think about how they're basically transmitting all this information, this data and things into our minds, and if we're unaware of how to basically stop what is happening, what's being transmitted into our mind, we will some people they'll internalize it. They'll think that it's their own thought. And then next thing you know, now they're acting upon that thought. And it makes me wonder sometimes why, like, it really got me thinking as to why people be like, I'm hungry. But I don't feel, it's like, they're like, you ever heard some people say, like, I feel like I'm hungry, but I'm not really hungry. And then like some people, they'll think they're starving. Then when they go and get something to eat, then they take like 2 or 3 bites and their body's just like, nah, you're not hungry. But their brain is like, but I felt like I was hungry. It's like, that's crazy when you think about it. I mean, not crazy in the sense like mentally ill crazy, but it's just like, it's amazing to think like there is a small handful of people who are basically using the airways, the frequencies, phonons, photons. They're using all of these things to manipulate people's bodies and minds against them. Hold on, let me do this delivery and I'll be right back. Yeah, I'll be right back. Yeah. So, but yeah, back to her and her situation. Yeah, and then, her brother's mad cool. Like, he's a cool dude. Like, we got, our birthdays are close, so he's a Pisces too. But I believe him, 7 years older than he is. But I think to some degree he might be, like his handlers might be messing with him as well. Because he hasn't really been going to work and doing certain things like he should be doing, but I don't know. But what else? And then his mom, their mom rather, she's amazing. She's very fun, loving. And she definitely cares about, she cares about being educated, making sure, everyone has what they need. And, she even treats me to things at times. And, I try to treat her at times. But, this morning, my lady, she goes and, she sends me like a screenshot. And I know the mom was telling me a couple of things that she was experiencing, but, she couldn't really put her finger on it. Me, I was keeping my eye on, the things that she was saying because they sound very similar to what, some TIs experience, even if they don't realize that they're a TI yet, and, I basically came to realize that, she was telling me about in the text message, she was saying that she was experiencing certain things, like certain pains on specific areas of the brain that I know handlers like to attack. And then she also mentioned that she has a hard time going to sleep, especially about how she woke up at 2 a.m. in the morning. And TIs, we know very well about specific times that they like to wake us up. Times that most normal people just don't wake up at, So, but it's 4, I'm looking for 5. It's gotta be on this left side. But yeah, so it's kind of like a thing where you realize, like, I know at first I really didn't want to tell, my lady about, targeting and all that stuff, because I didn't want her to really start experiencing things, or at least experiencing close to what I was experiencing. But strange enough, that's 510. Where is it? Oh, there, I think that's it right there. Um, but you know what? The more amazing part is she was already experiencing things, whether she, was being targeted or not. But she wasn't. I don't believe she was being targeted throughout her life. She was actually being manipulated throughout her life. There we go. She was actually being manipulated. Like, when I say manipulated, I believe that, she was being, in a sense, like, secretly sex trafficked, to be attracted to certain men, and to fall for certain men, because that's possible. They can do that. They can basically make you believe that you're in love with someone that you consciously would probably realize this person is not good for you, and then like some decisions, hey, I don't judge any woman based on, whatever, activities that she does, as long as she's consciously aware of, the, I guess I could say, ramifications of her actions, the rewards or consequences of her actions. But it kind of remind me of one of those moments in life when you kind of start to realize, like, okay, when someone continues to do the same thing over and over, and it's like they know that they probably should try to do something different or be with someone different, but then they keep doing it over. It's just like, okay, I wonder, like, are all those people being, manipulated by frequencies too? Because, I mean, when you truly, actively and consciously, when you truly, actively and consciously, good morning. When you truly, actively and consciously use your brain for everything, you're paying attention to, what you're doing, what you're seeing, what you're thinking, what you're listening to, like, you're like actively using your mind all day, every day. It's probably very, very hard for someone to manipulate you, especially if you learn to control your emotions in everything that you do. Emotions have a tendency to overwhelm, a person's decision making, right? So, especially if you have like underlying issues, past traumas, things of that sort. Past traumas basically I believe that past traumas are basically emotions that you basically buried away, but you never really tried to actually heal from them. And I've had some past traumas, or I would say traumatic events that I was emotionally tied to. And, eventually, as I got older and I started to meet wiser people and read, but as I started to meet older people and meet wiser people, and I don't know, just start to read certain scriptures in the Bible, like Proverbs, Psalm. You start to realize that a lot of things that we allow to control us in the world, we allow it. We allow a lot of things. We allow a lot of things or people to manipulate us against our own decision making. Right now the handlers, they're all like, they're all going verbally crazy. Oh, he has no idea. He don't realize there's a lot of people watching him. Da da da. And I'm just like, they say that all the time, actually. But it's kind of like, well, you've been saying it for nearly 2 years now, so obviously. All right, take care. So I'm just like, obviously, maybe I don't care. Maybe I'm actually one of the people that you wish you never met. Because I'm the one that you wish you could have actually broke down, but you can't. So now you feel like to save your face, you got to try to increase the torment, increase the amount of people that are watching. You got to try to see if you can get your entire army to try to come at me in whatever way you see fit or possible. Now I'm looking for seven. What's that one over here? Let me see, what is that? Let me see. But yeah, man. Oh wait, no, I think I'm looking for 6. But I don't know. I just feel like at some point all of this has to bubble over. It all has to bubble over. And basically something's got to give at some point. The dam has to break at some point. So, I don't know. I'm going to end it here so I can focus on these deliveries. This complex could get a little confusing, so I need to pay attention. But anyway, I'll get at y'all later. And remember, fear is optional. Fear is optional. Fear is literally an emotion that has been heightened by your ability to overanalyze a situation that is threatening your peace. Do not let fear debilitate you. Fear is literally just an emotion. All right? Take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.